What is up, everyone? Welcome to Critical Builds Season 2, Episode 3. I can't believe we're this far in. 3 episodes. 3 episodes.
Got canceled already.
I thought we'd be canceled at this point, but the network they were kind enough to go, you know what, we'll give you guys another shot. All right.
One more shot.
We're good. Yeah, so what's up, guys? Thank you
Don't
for
ask
joining
me
us.
what I made to do for the producers.
Nope. His needs a sword tonight. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. This lovely Saturday evening. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful night. We're going to look at some pretty awesome builds. We'll talk about some of the stuff that we're doing, and we have almost a full round table of beautiful faces and Kyle. So with that, let's go ahead and introduce some of these people. Starting with speaking of.
The most beautiful face.
Oh, man.
What's going on, everybody in the chat? I see we got a couple of new faces, which is great. Why do you got to make me first, Paps? I never know what the hell to say.
Open her up,
Welcome,
man.
everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to have quite a good lineup. Some of my local chaps that I know personally and have seen these builds firsthand, so it's going to be exciting to talk about them. And we have a lovely guest today, too. Ooh, I wonder who it could be. I'm eating pretzels for tonight's snack, so...
No bags.
No bags. All in a bowl.
Thank you, Kyle, for joining us, man. I know you're a busy
Thank
guy
you for
these
having
days, so yeah, man. Anytime. All right, let's go to this guy.
Welcome to episode 3, guys. I'm
gonna
prepared.
I'm gonna need you to
fully
up
awake.
that energy another level.
So ready to do all this. What are we doing again? Why am I here? Mechanism episode 49. But thanks for coming to hang out, guys. We got a great show ready. We're gonna have some fun.
Hell yeah! Thank you, Julio. I know you've been a busy guy with your sleeping. Yeah,
Sleep schedule, man.
Catch them Z's.
I get it. All right, and we got this gentleman right here.
Who that? Who that did?
Look at that
Man
fan.
of-
Oh, hi there. You caught me pouring coffee.
What coffee is that, Brian?
I'm Brian the Bro Builder. You're watching CritiQual Season 2, Episode 3. Yeah, because I said 4 the other day and it was really fucking wrong. How's everybody doing tonight? I got a nice cup of Valhalla Java here and an incredibly strong drink that I accidentally made very strong. So it's going to be a fun night.
Well, damn. Thank you,
Good
Brian.
Swifty.
And then finally, to round out this beautiful smorgasbord,
Good.
this beautiful the smorgasbord of people, we got a special guest tonight. He is one of our locals over here. Well, was one of our locals here in our Chicagoland area, and a heck of a talented builder. Let's introduce him, Mr. Justin j0tpla. What up?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, man, tell everyone about yourself, dude.
All right, so he said I'm a very talented builder, but we'll just say I'm a good repainter. And yeah, I got into Gunpla like, God, I don't even know how long now, 2017. And ever since then, it's just been meeting tons of people, competing. I don't know, just trying to get
Having
better at the
that
hobby
fun.
and pushing other people to be better at the hobby as well.
Yo, this man, all right, was so you were introduced to Gunpla in 2017, yet you were like one of the judges for GBWC. What was that in 2019, 2018?
Yes.
That's very impressive. I want to say, like, just the fact that people were looking, or people who in charge looked around and go, who would be a good judge to be able to look at these builds and go, okay, you can pick out who does what and who does the best, and yet, they chose you. So that's mad props to you, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So here is our lovely panel tonight. No Z tonight. He's a little busy, so we'll try to fill his size twos somehow.
That's right,
Lowercase?
Miguel. I'm filling in for Z. I got you.
All right, here we go. All right. So any scandalous comments? All right, it's coming from this guy right here. So, and also I want to thank everybody for joining us. I see. Let me see. I see Ariel. What's up, dude? Doom Boy. I know you're one of Justin's boys. Thank you for joining us tonight, man. Guy Daigogi, Miguel, obviously saying what did this man say? The audacity of these people to be late.
You gonna wait and you
He
gonna
was on
like
Canada
it.
time. I guess they run a little early.
Yeah, these Canadians. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Yeah, so Doom Boy said, "Hey, make it ready." We got John Lin. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this dude right here.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Heard of
What
that
it
kid
do, man?
before.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us, Yungawa. So yeah, thank you. Hopefully, we'll entertain you guys tonight. We'll have some great discussions, and you know what? Let's go ahead and jump right to it because there's no time like 7-Eleven Central Time, I guess. All right, so let's go to our first build of the night. Let's go ahead and before I even share his name, actually let's go ahead and share his name because I forgot how the show goes. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks.
Happy holidays.
Gotta
Yeah,
brush the
sure.
dust off here.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Before I even get to it, I just want to say, Happy New Year's, everybody. 2021. I know it's been it's been was it 16? We're 16 days in, and I'm ready to return it already. I got the receipt.
Hell yeah. Start ready
Yeah.
for 2022.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go ahead and do our first critique of the evening, starting with this gentleman right here.
Oh, I know that guy.
Silver Maverick Gunpla. Let me see if I can get his name up. There we go, Silver Maverick Gunpla. And the name of his build is the RX-78-2 Gundam Beyond Global. That is the extent of his description. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy and see
I know which one this is.
what the deal is. Who wants to start us off?
Julio.
This is a critique, right?
This is a critique. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Man, I enjoyed this one. The subtle shading with weathering came out really, really nicely. It feels like a pastel palette, even though it's like stark hues of color, but these feel pastel. I don't know what like technique that is, but it feels really nice. Anyone else?
So the thing that pops out to me with this build are the eyes. I absolutely love the color in the eyes here. I mean, it's a very simple yellow, but the shade of yellow used here in comparison to the other shades of yellow he has on the body are obviously different. But it gives it life. It gives it a glow, a very natural glow, without it being something fluorescent or an LED or something that just shines on its own. This thing is it gives it life. It gives it some depth. I really enjoyed looking at this build. So.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
well
Quick
done.
question for you, Babs.
Yeah,
In the description, did he list whether this kit was painted or not?
it is painted. You can see it.
It is painted, but he didn't put anything in.
Yeah,
the
that was
description
my
of it.
big thing, is that I couldn't tell if it was painted or just super, super dull, like just tons and tons of flat, because it almost just looked like it was just as dull as possible. Like I couldn't tell at first.
Like,
Yeah, because when I first saw it, I was a little wondering if because I skipped over the description like an idiot. I was like, I wonder if this is just a straight kit that's been flat coated and then weathered, or if it's been painted, flat coated, weathered.
No, it's definitely
You could
painted.
get similar looks both ways.
The Beyond doesn't come in those colors.
yeah,
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because
Yeah,
it
they're
seemed
not-
too vibrant. I was like, I thought the Beyond was a
Yeah,
little duller in the color.
they're like more pastel-y in the
Mm.
G40.
Yeah.
But you can see, if you see the back image, you can definitely see on the shield, and then on the upper arm on the, you can look at the shield. You can see there that it's painted.
Okay.
All right.
The one thing I can kind of knock him is
That's,
impatience.
yeah,
Be patient when you handle it. When you handle painted pieces.
Yeah.
Whether you're at the last stretch or at the very beginning, just wait till your paint has fully cured before you handle it. I did notice a couple of fingerprints, even in that very first image.
Yeah, fingerprints and dabs. I noticed, like, especially on the shield, there's like a lot
Yeah.
of dabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fingerprint there.
I'm gonna steal your identity now, Silver Murray.
Coming for you,
Scan it.
Ricardo.
Posticize it, and our money's yours,
Yeah.
boy.
Some dust
You
here
can
and
see
there.
some of Ricardo's work, though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I'd love a decal or two on this. It look nice.
Yeah, some identifiers or markers. I do like how, because we always talk about in previous critiques with weathering, that there's this fine line that gets played on whether you've met the level of weathering that fits the story of the kit, or if you've either missed it or gone overboard. And I think, based on how he had it for this kit, I think it's just the right amount. It's got, it looks like it's been in operation, but doesn't have the excessive weathering or the minimalistic weathering where it's like, is it really dirty or is it not dirty? I think it's got a pretty good amount of weathering on there where I can honestly say he's in that happy median where it's not too much or too little. It works for how he did it and where he did it, minus the whole smudging some stuff.
I don't want to. I don't want to repeat myself, but like he almost uses the weathering like the weathering colors on this, like the kind of almost rust color, as a pre-shade or a post shade.
Yeah.
It definitely gives it some depth. It I don't know, man, because obviously you're looking at this and go, okay, so I kind of get where he's trying to go with the weathering, but it just, instead of giving it like a very realistic weather, it almost gives it a shade instead, and it's
a
very
like
interesting
gunk wash kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worn.
Yeah, it's almost like a rub and buff.
Consistent throughout, too.
I will say his forearms are the one area where the rub and buff for the weathering just doesn't match. Like, especially on his right arm, half of the side is darker than the other half. You can see it from the back. The inconsistency is very noticeable. It's not a subtle shift. It could just be too much was removed from the interior part of the arm, or not enough
I think they were
wash
done
or weather was
separately.
put on that. Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely some inconsistencies also with just the overall build. So you know how you managed to get rid of some of the seam line here, and like it's very prominent on the other leg. There's also something on the side that I noticed right here. Zoom in on the side panel right there. There's like, I'm not sure if that's like a piece of fur or a nub. It's very hard to tell.
I think those are nubs because they're on the side piece. Like there's the four corners.
Okay. Yeah, and then also one of the other things was there's this scratch right here on the shoulder. But
It's kind of funky, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a biro, like a pen scratch almost. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't
don't know if
sure.
it was actually damaged to plastic and the gunk wash filled it in and he couldn't clean it out. Who knows?
Yeah, and also these lines, like right here, are these
Edging.
edging? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That I don't mind that, honestly. The wear, like the paint would wear in those spots in certain places, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So Mingala says these are actually closer to the G40 colors.
Okay.
Like, because I've
Yeah,
seen it before.
with so many variations of the RX-78, it's kind of hard to remember. Okay, the Beyond, especially in this last year, we've had like 4 different models of the RX-78 HG between the G40, the Beyond, and then the regular standard HG, and then some other ones. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around which colors match which.
So
It's beyond me.
with the,
Yes.
something that did kind of bother me with the weathering on this kit is that the back of the shield is more worn than the front of the shield, and there's some spots like in the joints, like especially in the ankles and the gun. Like if everything else is weathered, those should be weathered too. So it's almost like the weathering is like a little too inconsistent because weathering isn't symmetrical, but like the high high movement areas are like gonna have a lot of like scratches and gunk and buildup and shit and fluid. So like, for me, like the ankles and the feet would probably be like the most weathered on this kit. And
Mm.
I don't know, maybe that's just me being very nitpicky.
No,
But
Oh, not at
No,
all, man.
that's a good
I don't
point.
think so
That's a
at
good point.
very
I
good.
would have
Moving
loved.
parts will show more wear and tear. It's true. And plus, you bring up a good point. I forgot that the rifle on that is exceptionally clean compared to the rest of the kit.
Exceptionally clean. I didn't even
Yeah.
notice it.
And I forgot about that point, but Justin brings up a good point. Like, yeah, it kind of breaks away from the entirety of the kit where you've got a very clean rifle and then a very weathered
Those
kit. So
hands
it's
are
like,
real clean too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hands
Yeah.
too. I would have
Okay.
so like the things I wrote in my notes were I would have loved the same kind of weathering in the back of the shield as the front. Because I know Justin said, there's more weathering on the back than the front, but I would have loved not even the mirror, but using the same effect. Because if you look at the front of the shield, he's not using the same effect at all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he probably, if he used like an oil, a lot of it came off on the front of the shield, looks like, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of rubbing in the middle that's just missing stuff. And yet,
Mhm.
I don't think it's an intentional pattern.
Right.
It may have just come from handling the kit.
Yeah, and I also would have loved some color separation on this rifle. Even if he kept it clean, and it would have really benefited him if he just gave it, because right now it's just one block of color with a single orange in the on the scope, or I can't remember what this thing's called, the radar or radome, whatever. Yeah, but it's just one blocky color. It's the same color as the hand, so it all just kind of meshes together. So it's
Yeah.
it's kind of it's just missing that little something that just
Oh, yeah.
switches it.
And there's plenty of detail on that kit to mask off some color separation naturally.
Yeah, I agree. But other than that, man, I mean, this thing has shelf presence. I think. If I saw this on a shelf, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's
it would pop instantly, especially how like that like dull like anime look, like it would pop instantly.
yeah. But yeah, definitely Ricardo, amazing build, man. I really like what you've done with this thing. I love the colors that you've implemented. And like the Ungala says, it's closer to G40 colors. And while I do enjoy the design of the G40, it's not for everybody. Whereas the Beyond Global was more globally accepted. But dude, yeah, great job, man. Yeah, if you guys don't follow him, Instagram at Silver Maverick Gunpla or _ Gunpla, please follow him. Follow his work. He makes some exceptional stuff, and yeah, I mean, hopefully, what we've said here, you take away with some good faith, and I'd love to see more of your builds, man. Please submit some more. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, hopefully we have Mosquito Con and we can hang out again, Ricardo.
Hell yeah! All right.
Hell yeah.
Supposedly it's on this year. Did you see
They're
Danny
saying-
Gumpa's post?
Yep.
Supposedly it's in the books.
I saw it elsewhere, but
Yeah.
Who knows? Who actually knows? You know what I mean? Like, who knows what's going to happen in July, right?
Tentative.
But,
Tentative.
yeah, it's a long
Exactly.
ways away. Again.
It is. We've got quite some time. All right, so let's move on to our next critique, because we're on a bit of a time crunch. You know what I'm saying? And let's go ahead and this guy. how to describe this dude? Because it seems like he just crept out of nowhere, and now he's everywhere. Everywhere I turn, boom, there he is. Boom, there he is. Ooh,
He
boom, there.
built Gunpla. Gunpla.
Not that guy. Stay tuned. But let's go ahead and show whoever this guy is, Mister Boop.
Oh, is he streaming right now, guys?
Oh, this kid.
I have no idea if he's streaming or not,
No,
but we're gonna.
not yet.
I don't care. We're gonna go
Streaming
ahead and
a live
go
reaction.
anyway. Yes,
He's got
stream.
he's got an interview tonight. Yeah.
We're gonna stream his reaction regardless. I know he's probably sent like his link to whoever he's interviewing tonight. I believe. What's his name?
Tang.
Tang. I think so. Akio, right? Akio?
Akayana is his username. I can remember his name. He recently built the RX-78 Jesta model kit. It's really well.
Yeah,
Awesome.
the just in a GM, I think, were
Yeah,
like
a GM
scam
sniper.
that once.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, so let's go ahead and so
Oh.
Mr. Aeon Skromeka,
I remember that sniper.
we'll go. I know he's streaming right now, so he probably won't be able to see this, but he can watch the replay. He knows what's going on. So,
roast.
so let's go ahead and describe his build, and then we'll go ahead and put it on screen. The Phoenix Rising, an out-of-box build with a custom paint scheme. The base kit was the H3 Brigandlaze Julia, and he says, this was my entry for the Great Canadian Build-Off. It is a straight build out-of-box with a custom repaint. Used mainly Krios, Mr. Color, and Tamiya paints, light weathering, and additional decals for visual details. This project was focused on the color application and gradients. I love the color orange, so that is my main theme. The base is custom, designed in AutoCAD, made with plow plate, styrene sheet, the lid of a jar, and clear dancing pole.
Yeah.
Sure. I really enjoyed this build because of the way the colors really popped with the sunburst oranges. So let's go ahead and...
Is Ariel mixing his hobbies in that description?
He's a dancer. I'm a dancer. Yeah, this is a pretty good build. I've seen this a couple times because I know Ariel. We all know Ariel. I love this suit, and I hate the character that pilots it. So it's, for me, it's like this weird bittersweet where I'm like, oh, fucking give me the yeah, he did a great job. I love the gradients that he did on this, and like nice use of decals. Like they're bold when they're there, but they're not like overly like up in your grill.
Yeah.
Got those
very copacetic with the kit.
Yeah, got some Delpies in there I saw, and we can't go wrong with Delpy decals, honestly. So, guys,
yeah, I really love the mix of the semi-gloss with the metallics all over this thing. So you can see here in that first photo, you've got the metallics all over the shield, like on some of the recessed areas, and then you've got the matte all over. Some of the standout things were, like Brian said, great use of great application of gradients here. I didn't see a lot wrong with his decal application. Very good, kind of nice consistency throughout. And yeah, I absolutely love the colors, man, and the extra effort he put into the base. Very nice use of a jaw lid. Now he's got a lidless jaw, which sucks, but you got a great base out of it.
No, you gotta. It's like the glass, just like a drinking glass. You get a mason jar that you drink out of, and you got a lid that's now. See. One thing I'm a little bit critical of on this is the fidelity of the silver and the blades off the hands. I think that it is a grainy silver compared to how smooth and refined the rest of the paint job on the model looks.
Yeah.
So I feel like it kind of detracts from it. If it was
it's not a smooth blend in metal. It's probably from the paint he used. The pigmentation's probably a little too big.
Yeah, I would have absolutely loved it if he gave us a list of the colors he used. I know he said Mr. Color and Tamiya. I'm guessing from the size of the filaments, this is the Tamiya side of it. Again, if you watch this area, let us know. But just the size of the filaments, I can kind of, I think it's Tamiya. But yeah, there are definitely other options out there that have much smaller pigments. For example, this is Stardust Silver or Star Bright Silver, sorry. Plus their Metal Master Thinner almost eliminates the filament completely. Like all those metal things they just meld into one, and it's an absolutely beautiful application. I apply those like 4-to-1. Thinner to paint, and it's just a beautiful, nice thin layer of that silver, and it pops like beautifully.
I've had pretty good success with Mr. Color's metallic silver.
Yeah, like the Mr. Metal.
Yeah, it's not grainy like that either. Yeah. Most of the ones I've used have been fairly smooth on the pigmentation.
There you go.
Which is why I agree it's probably Tamiya, because I didn't have that same, unless he didn't thin it all the way, which I highly doubt, considering the rest of his paint quality is up to snuff. I didn't have a similar experience with that. My only gripe with this is, and I always say this, he's got such a nice gradient throughout, and then he's got these kind of boring inner frame exposed parts. And with a lot of these kits, they rely heavily on showing inner frame members, and I kind of wish he paid some attention to those as well, because you got all these nice little nods of gold hidden throughout, and it's very hard to execute. Having to mask the hell out of that stuff, and then you've got this boring inner frame. And especially on kits like this, you can see the inner frame. So I would like for him to have put a little more, highlight in those to really just bring it all together in one nice,
A brighter
complete
metallic.
kit. Yeah, because it's like, especially when you're looking at this in a critical standpoint, you're like, okay, I see all these great things. I got to find something that's wrong, unless there's nothing wrong, which is possible. And then you get to the frame, especially in this image here, you're like, oh, got these nice, ugly looking balls. And it's like, I wish he'd put some more, finazzle in there. I mean, and with this being a fairly custom kit as well, he has the ability to kind of touch those up to make them less ugly.
Yeah,
Absolutely, I agree.
But other than that, I agree with what the Brian and Pab said. I love the grading on this. It actually makes sense because it's always one thing to do the transition, but then you see it in the kits and it's like, doesn't make sense though. You're like, looks great, it's executed well, but it's in the wrong spot. So it kind of just, you're like, I don't like it, but I don't know why I don't like it because it's done perfectly fine. I don't have that issue with this kit. I think the grading is executed well and it's done in a manner, it's located in places that make sense.
I totally agree with you. Like the gradients are very well done. Some of it's a little bit inconsistent. Like some oranges are brighter here, some reds are darker here. It's like back to back, side to side. You can see it, and only if you're nitpicking. Like if you're looking at this thing on a table, you're probably not going to pick it up. But I stared at this for a couple hours. Some of the detail painting, the metallic like paneling, is hand painted, and it doesn't fully take on, like it doesn't completely opaque, so you can see that it's a bit see-through, and
light on the coat.
Yeah, and it's coming out of the edges in some spots, but the couple get in there.
The one thing I can kind of, I guess I can nitpick with this is you can tell straight away that this is a high grade. Like there's it doesn't give me a sense of scale. Like it doesn't give me a sense that this is a massive mobile suit being deployed out into space. Not because of the color scheme, because the color scheme is beautiful. That's a very creative thing. It's just how most high grades have just singular pieces,
Little
kind of
plug
just
joint.
right, the plug joint and things that could be separated on the monster grade just as just one piece on the high grade. Instead of kind of separating some of those pieces or separating some of those parts with color, he just added that gradient. Like for example, on this back skirt right here, this is just one singular piece, and I would have loved some kind of more separation other than just the gradient. Some
That
mechanical
top point
detail
above
here.
the two, you could easily make that a different color, either a solid, I'm thinking gold, or something that follows the color pattern to really just kind of give it some depth.
Right, exactly. It just it gives it a more, even though the gradient itself is very interesting because it's so well done. It's all over the kit. So once you start moving your eye down from different pieces of this thing, apart from the grays, the duller grays on the frame, that's all you're kind of looking at. You're looking at some of the metallics, you're looking at some of that, but it's missing in a lot of the pieces here. And I think just a little break away from the gradient and to give us a visual, something to give us visual interest would have been
Remind us it's a robot with panels.
exactly.
So while you're zoomed in on that, actually, on that back panel, one of my nitpicks was I noticed like in the inlays there, like under the two, you can see like it's either like the decal was like getting warped or it was like a paint issue. I couldn't tell, but like that was like one of the issues I saw where I was like, if I was really gonna like get this under a lens, like that's definitely something I would notice big time. That, and I think it's on like one of the front thrusters. I thought it might have been the back. It looks like the
Red rimming.
right above the red rimming there, it looked kind of like webbed frosted.
Well, and you've got like a little bit of the rim looks like it's rubbed down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or over red. Hard to say.
It could have been from masking or whatever, depending on how you masked it. If you do like the putty trick, or if he had some tape
I feel
around
like
lead.
I feel like he was attempting to do a gradient with his red too, just to give not exactly thruster burn, but it's like a, I don't know, like maybe a scorch. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's more of a creative thing, but it's not very consistent because you see here on the back right here, it's like a very solid line, But if you look at the front, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, and even the
I
one
think that-
adjacent to it is less of a
Yeah.
ring.
I think that's the only one that really happened to.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, when I was looking at this, like those were like the only things I really noticed where I was like, hey man, like this thing is beautiful. It was hard to find things to say bad about it. So it was just like, damn man, crazy work.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a testament to the build where we actually have to stress and zoom in and go.
I love how
there it
rich
is.
the gradient is on the forearms.
Mm.
Like it's deep. It's a deep saturation on the forearms. Looks really nice.
And these, just kind of talking away from the build very briefly. These images are great.
Like great.
Yeah, Ariel definitely knows how to take a fucking photo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was something I noticed too. Was the photography was on point,
Yeah.
super on point.
It's not, obviously he's got a very neutral background. It's very dark, very high drama, but his shadows aren't harsh enough that we're losing detail. And it really, the fact that there's nothing else that visually takes away from his build just intensifies his color choices more.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
The
it's
contrast
great-
favors the kit rather than drowns it out.
Right, exactly. I mean, I see builds with a black background, and what they try to do is they try to erase the background completely, and it just loses all of that detail, through the shadowing, through underexposure. It dulls out their paints, it dulls out the detail. It's sad because you work hard in this build, make it look as best as you can through a camera lens, without cheating. Don't use Photoshop. So yeah, no, he definitely did an excellent job here. It's definitely a great piece. Definitely, again, like with Ricardo's build, this thing has shelf presence, I think. So knowing
Oh,
the
yeah.
size,
You would walk across the hobby shop to go and take a look at that shit for sure.
Like, oh, that's
What the
You
fuck?
cock your head.
Oh, that's tight.
it's
Yeah.
not orange.
It's a floating dreamsicle, man. It is.
Yeah, but yeah, Ariel, dude, great work. Hopefully, we see more builds because I've seen this build way too many times at this point. Let's see some more stuff from you, dude. I know
Yeah,
you're
Ariel, stop streaming. Build.
I know you're busy streaming constantly all
This is your
week.
challenge.
Let's pick up the pace with the building, my guy. So great work, dude. And if you guys don't follow him, I mean, his name is everywhere. Ao at Ao_Mecca. Let him know. Let him know we sent you, and that he made a great build. And yeah, hopefully we see more. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, with that, guys, let's go ahead and flip flop to our first feature of the evening.
Wait.
And
You gotta flip your hat.
we got. Oh, are you guys flipping your hands?
Like
I'll
this.
flip my hat right now.
Flip this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel out of place because I was the only one with like a forward hat. Are you also
Dude,
back?
Let's just say you're the only one doing it right.
Julio's like, I'm gonna go cycle.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring up his name. So let's go ahead and move Ariel's name right here, and then put on our first IG name for a feature at that.1.mediocre.builder. So this is one of Justin's boys, I believe, right? Is that correct, right? Justin?
Not one of my boys?
It's
Is it only
one
yours,
of our boys.
One of
One of
your
our
boys. There you go. We Kyle and Justin's.
We
That
share.
that one mediocre builder, Mr. Zach Tincha. Is it Tincha or Tinka?
Tincture?
Tincher.
Sure.
Okay. And his build name / background is simply just the MG Uma Lightning Gelgu blue paint. So let's go ahead and get that on screen. By
Oh, Zach's in the chat actually.
what up?
By Zaku27.
Soccer 27. All right. So let's go ahead and share his build right here. Let's go ahead and start
Woo!
show.
Oh, lightning.
So sick.
Shimon.
So nice.
So Justin and I have seen this kit in person, and yeah, it's as good as it is now, if not better in person.
Oh,
And
looks-
I will
looks better in
say-
person, man.
As a huge compliment to Justin and Zach. Justin's gonna hate me for this because we always get them mixed up. As a huge compliment to Zach, both Justin and I have watched him progress as a painter, and every time he has a kit come out, it's better than the last. He's constantly like stepping himself up. I mean, this isn't even his latest, but it's definitely one of the latest. And it's just kind of a testament of where he's going as a painter. I know when people are like, oh, repainters, whatever, blah 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 blah. He's actually like going out of his way to like get good at it rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it, which is really good. And like every time he has a new kit, he'll try something new. Masking, more detail painting, things of that nature. And it's really good to see a builder pushing themselves in their own right.
I'm going to flip the script real quick. I know this is a feature, but I'm going to give you one critique, Zach. This needs more photos.
Okay.
I need more images of this thing, dude. You sent me like four or five. I know that was the minimum requirement, but this is an absolutely gorgeous build, dude.
Yeah, man.
Send more.
Show,
You know,
show your ass.
yeah, this thing is definitely something to be proud of. Your paint application is clean as hell. The decal application is clean. I love the different layers that you've applied here. I mean, you know, looking at the ab section right there, just gorgeous build, dude. I am, you know, if I don't know how many builds in you are at this with this thing, but if you've built more of it at this level, I would love to see more of it, dude, because this is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's got like a nice classical, like clean paint finish to it. It looks really good, like what you would see featured on one of the placard cards that used to come in the old kits. You know, like just clean, like really precise, really tastefully done. Like not like crazy shaded and all that wildness. You know, like no Watanabe, no none of that, and just like crisp. I like it.
Yeah. If I saw this on the box of the Galgoog, like you know how they usually have like their painted build on the side or whatever. If I looked at it and saw it and you know this is what I saw, I'd be like, I want my build to look like that. Like that's what I want it to look like. Yeah.
That color palette, primo, man. Very
delicious
nice.
choice.
Yeah, creamy, very creamy.
Yeah, really cool, man.
The other
I love
thing-
the eye detail right there. Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
The other thing that it's missing is it normally has the giant like rocket arm thing. That he has it on display with it, like in the kit, because I've seen it in person, and like when it has that with it, it looks so much cooler. Like the pictures,
the menacingness, yeah.
the pictures sell the kit, but I'm telling you, they do not do the justice that it does when you see it in person. It knocked me off my feet when I saw it, bro.
Especially with that rocket launcher, it's so unique. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Next time, dude, if you, I definitely want to see more of this thing. If you want to submit more for, I mean, I don't usually do this, but if you want to submit again for more photos of this thing for the next episode, I would be 100% okay with it. But this is a great build.
He gets it back. Numbers on display, so it's not easy to get the kit back.
Yeah,
No, it is.
when you get it
Go
back,
get it.
yeah, when you get it back, obviously, and if you're able to take more photos of it, I would welcome this thing back on the show, 100%.
Please and thank you.
Yeah,
Put it in the montage for the closer episode.
there you go.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Fucking montage.
It's a montage. But yeah, if you guys don't follow him, please do. That.1.mediocre builder, Zach Tincher. Amazing work. I can't wait to see more, dude. And I might have to make a trip to Orland Park to take a look at this thing.
Yeah, you got to now.
Yeah, I got to.
Do
There you go.
it.
Look at this man. Kensuke.
Huh?
Don't
Come
follow.
on in.
Up your butt, Manny. Okay. Just kidding, bro. I love you. All right. So yeah, amazing work. Let's go ahead and flip back to our critiquing hats. I'm glad you have a brim for this tonight, Julio. Because if you had your brimless hat, that would have been.
Just kept spinning it.
Always critiquing. Always critiquing.
There you go.
Double brim.
All right, so let's move on real quick to why am I changing cameras? That's not what I wanted to do.
It's all about coverage.
Let's move on
The
to
sun is
our
bright.
next. Let's move on to our next critique of the night. If I can find his banner real quick because there is so many. Oh, here we go. I found it. Aha! All right. So I know he's probably going to be disappointed because his favorite critical build guy isn't here. But let's go ahead and let's do our first critique, our next critique. Mr. Mr. Not a stranger to the show at Gunpla Miguel.
What a noob.
Currently holding the world record of every entry for every episode.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
every.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one thing I absolutely appreciate about Miguel is he goes into very great detail. Now, I don't know if it necessarily relates to the build, but he goes into great detail about his mindset.
I'm ready for the story. I'm ready for the grand journey he's going to take us on.
Now, kids, gather round.
Neckbeard with no trim. But okay, let's go ahead
No,
and
just trims the front so that it's just like.
You should buy brew.
all right, so the build name / background for this critique: the RX-124 Gundam TR-6 Kaha 2. In all honesty, one of the weirdest things I'd ever seen before in terms of gunplot. It was only when this kit was offered to me as a sponsored build and I started working on it that I realized how much I'd been missing out on when it comes to advanced Zeta kits. For the Kaha 2, I decided to deviate from its original dark color scheme and bring it back to the Woundwort originals and have the Kaha add-ons in the Titan colors, or / as best as I could. The frame is painted in the candy purple, while the armor is a mix of whites and grays, and the Titan blue is a custom mix from manual. My initial plan for this kit was to add as much detail as possible via scribing, but as this was my first time working on a high grade, I hadn't realized how hard it would be to add detail to such a small scale, resulting in very minor scribes being added overall. The lack of part separation on the high grade really slowed down the progress as most of the small details had to be hand painted with enamel, thus creating much longer dry times. As someone who is completely unaware of Advanced Zeta lore, I mistakenly used all of the decal insignias that I wasn't supposed to, or so I've been told. I don't care. I contributed to that. That being said, I think it looks kick-ass and wouldn't change it at all if I could go back. In addition to the above-mentioned issues, I had another big one, which was how to photograph something so weirdly shaped. A lot of the hand-painted details are hard to pinpoint because I couldn't get in close enough to shoot them. I did what I could, so sorry for the lack of details in pics. By the end of this build, not only had I fallen in love with the kit, but now have a much deeper appreciation for Advanced Zeta in general. As much as it'll pay me to work on another high grade, I'm pretty sure I'll be getting the Hazenflay 2 raw in the future. All in all, one of my favorite builds.
Ah, nice.
So let's go ahead and
Yeah, 'cause I have the regular Hazen play, so I started snapping it up. I feel what you're doing there, Miguel. You're so fucking
I go,
smart.
first things first. I'm going to say, this was a great build, but that story, disappointed, man. I was hoping for a journey, and you just took me through some generic read 'em, write 'em nonsense. I'm a little disappointed, man. I wanted to be dazzled by this description, but I almost fell asleep. I don't know, man.
now
So I'm just gonna have to stare at your build to wake me up.
Wow.
Yes, I've heard about candy painting, so I might be able to tell you a thing or two about it. But no, in all seriousness, Miguel, this was a solid build. I loved watching you do it, and I could care less if you use the wrong decals because they work for the kit.
Yeah,
They
they look
work
good.
in all facets. Like, I think you did a great job where you put them, whether you followed a guide or not. It doesn't matter because they make sense. It seems like an actual off the assembly line type production kit with the way the decaling and the all the warning symbols are done. I think it's very well done. And if I think correctly, you may have used some mecha decals on this. Oh,
I don't have the video. I'm not gonna do it.
Sorry,
I'm not gonna do it.
I already did it in my head.
So
head.
I know you're a big fan you're now a big fan of Advanced Zeta, Miguel, and I don't know if you know this, but Stickler Studio are coming out very soon with something very similar to the Kaha. So if you're interested in that, definitely look
now
it
that
up.
he's on the resin train. He's glued in for life now. No mecha decal. Well, I'll send my sorry note to Tim for you.
He'll get there as soon as those stickers get to you, right, Kyle?
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else with any kind of comments on this guy?
Oh, I love it. I'm
I
so
wouldn't
glad
call
you
that
stepped
purple
away.
candy.
I'm so glad you stepped away from the Titans, the old Titans colors for this, because the original Woundwarts look really, really nice on it. Like really, really well done. Really clean, really sharp.
One thing
Short
I
and-
kind of. Oh, sorry, Video, continue.
No, it's okay. You can talk over me, Pat.
No, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. Don't.
No, go for it, Pat. It's good. It's all right.
No.
I'm not saying nothing important.
No. One thing I kind of wish that you kind of worked on a little bit more were these seam lines right here. Now
Oh yeah, I didn't want to.
I know you
yeah.
kind of tried your best to make this look like a panel line, but it looks like it's a seam line. It's very obvious looking at this thing that it's not really something that's meant to be there.
Abs is so pissed off right now.
This is his bad face.
Abs is seething.
I am absolutely not seething. It's just a shame because you put so much effort into the kit with the color scheme, and it looks great in this color scheme because the Kahar is definitely a very strange looking kit, just with its weird proportions and obviously its wound wart things all over the place, and then all of a sudden you've got these weird giant shoulder butts that are actually the butt of the wound wart, but it's not anymore. It's now the shoulders. It's very hard to kind of distinguish anything. And you put so much effort to make this look great. I think that just a little extra effort into removing this seam line would have been really, really nice.
I was gonna say it didn't. He just left it as is because I have the original right here.
1 second, Justin.
And it's not focusing the way it should
Focus.
be.
Focus.
Trying.
Put your hand behind it.
Put my hand behind it.
Yeah, it's trying to pull your face.
So give me a face.
Damn it.
It's like Brian's camera.
They were just saying that my camera looks good. I think it's because I updated my computer.
It's just not happening. But it's the same deal. Like he didn't try to make it one piece. It's just one big seam line. But the reason I brought this out was because he was talking about it's very tiny, it's weird shaped. So just dealing with the regular wound wart, I know exactly what he's talking about with it. But yeah, so that's why I brought the boy out for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely would have just filled all that in.
Yeah, it's just it's not like it again. It's not necessarily that bad, but it's one of those things where you look at it and you're looking at this and you're like, oh, it looks great, the colors looks great, and then you look down and you look at the legs and you go, oh, that's a seam line. That's
So Miguel, I'm gonna teach you two tricks. One, do it the normal way and seam line removal. But Paz, if you zoom in, you see how you have that square on the front of your kit? Enhance.
This one?
Enhance. Okay, so what you could do is there's an expensive tool, or there's a tool you can create. You take a chisel blade, you glue some plot plate to it, and so you make here's your plot plate, here's your chisel, and you have like a step off. You can set it to like a millimeter or 0.2 of a millimeter from the edge, and then use that to run down one side, only one side, and then back to the picture, Pabs. Okay, so then you take that tool, you run it against one side, thus making a step in there rather than a notable seam line. And then the final step is that recessed square. Take some plot plate that is thicker than the recess, so it sticks above the main surface, and put it in there, and it actually looks like an intentional armor separation rather than a panel line. So you first make a step in the panel line, and then you fill in that recess so that it makes sense as the totalitarian, and it's kind of like a hidden armament setting out. So I mean, that's a little trick you could try.
I don't think it's a mission failed, Miguel. Like I'm
Nah,
not
not at
going to
all.
Z levels of critique here because it's like I said, like everything about this build, I am a big fan of. It's just this is a very basic kind of thing that you kind of maybe overlooked a bit. You know, I know this is your first high grade, and it's just this is just one of the things you kind of need to look out for with it, especially with a high grade, especially with
I
a weird design like
Serious.
Kaharu.
I think this is kind of in the same league as like the one Phoenix Rising kit we talked about earlier, where it's like there's so much good here that you have to really like zoom in and like
Mhm.
identify with like a lens
Yeah.
to really pick out the faults. Because it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great kit, man. You did an awesome job.
Yeah, I agree. I am 100% agree like everything else is on this kit. I think you did a spectacular job on. I love the details on these engines right here. Or these engines are cannons. I can't remember.
I think they're engines. They're like
They're
thrusters
engines,
and
right?
whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exhaust.
Because the way the reconfiguration is, it puts it in like a flight pattern.
Like
Um,
the little hints of fluorescent green all over this thing. Really make
Mhm.
parts of this pop. Like really.
Yeah, like if you go to the back of these units, he's got a little step thing on his butt. Yeah, right there. Look at that, the red and green.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's amazing an amazing level of detail. Well, not amazing level of detail, but a
God.
very specific level of detail.
Those decals are killer. They're so good, man. So
So-
good.
Simpro decals. Get yours today.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, look how seamless they fill in there. You can't see a lip. Even when you zoom
I
in,
know.
it's such a smooth transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about Simpro decals today, Peps, because that was all over their site, all up in their business.
Yeah, since they've moved over to this other company now, they've really stepped up the level and the quality of the decals. So they're pretty good.
Nice.
The type of scribing line that Kyle's talking about is called a subsurface edge,
Yes, there, that's
and there is a hack for that on page 103 of the panel scribe technique book by GPF.
Ta-da!
There you
I actually
And
used this technique on the Lancer or the Arc Lancer.
Right. So it goes through and it tells you everything. You can get this at USA Gundam Store and probably other places too. But I know that they have it there.
an amazing book.
This is a
There's
good one.
series
This,
of different volumes too. To
yeah,
invest
this
in.
this one is really good for everybody, just to have as a reference. But the other ones are more like aimed at beginners and
Yes.
Yeah, it's very good, man. I mean, if you really want a great crash course on scribe, not only applying scribe lines, but also the designs, because that's something that people kind of have a tough time wrapping their heads around. You know, how do you design, or how do you create a design that looks technically correct but also aesthetically pleasing on the kit? It's very difficult. That's a very difficult thing for some people to get around. And that book helps you to kind of figure that out. So
And
you know,
it's
whether
very
you
well
want to
written.
go, yeah, whether you want to go the simple route or more, or different widths and different depths, that book covers it. So it's a very good resource. Definitely worth the money.
Right.
Ryan,
And
how
one of
about
the
you?
good reasons of touching base on the panel line thing is, I know Miguel is a really good example is how you've increased your abilities very quickly. We want to make sure you're not forgetting the fundamental requirements too, because
Absolutely.
it sucks to do all this work only to be knocked down by how many points a judge may mark you down for a panel line. So always, as you're progressing through your skills, circle back on the fundamentals. I mean, even myself, I have to kind of do that. Like working on a current kit, I'm like, oh yeah, don't forget to clean up your nubs and some excess flash. You know,
Yeah, I
you
I
gotta
do
have
it
to keep
too.
that in your head at all times.
It's very easy to overlook that thing when you're very excited about applying something that you've been thinking in your head or planning over and over in your head to something that you're working on. It's a very simple thing. But if and this is it's a very specific example. But if you were to put this into a composition and people were judging this, stuff like this would be something that would be outlined. This would be something that they would see and go, okay, so there's a panel line here that's kind of that could have been hidden, that wasn't. So it's that's just, yeah, that's where that's coming from. As previous judging previous competitions and stuff, that's the kind of thing I tend to look out for.
been judged.
Yeah.
After having been on the
Don't be afraid of
receiving end.
masking tape. Like I know a lot of people don't want to glue parts together because like, oh, I need to separate this so I can paint things properly. Masking tape is your friend. Don't be afraid of it. You're eventually going to cross that bridge. So push yourself to do those little hard modifications or whatnot because you have to seal up parts and be able to paint it. There's plenty of information on the internet on effective ways to, especially with HGs, to get rid of seam lines, but also make parts removable for painting process. So, I mean, I can understand some of the hesitation, like, oh, if I seal this part up, then I can't paint this and stuff like that. You're eventually gonna have to cross that bridge. So, you know, if you got any questions, all of us would help you with that. But don't be afraid to do those fundamentals just to make, you know, to avoid making things harder for yourself.
I'm gonna sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but like the mark of a good builder is when you constantly force yourself to learn new things. We're always learning and adapting, and if you settle for one thing, you're never gonna achieve what you want to do. So like always strive to like keep learning shit like they're pushing you to do, man. And
Yeah, I mean,
you'll get there.
it's the same with a lot of industries, right? Where if you stand still, you're gonna be left behind. You know, you want to keep developing your craft, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you should try something new constantly. You should just constantly try to learn and pick up things, whether or not it's specifically part of this hobby or not, because things that you learn from outside the hobby could also be applied inside, and it's something we've spoken about in the past. It's just it's easy to feel complacent with where you are if you're happy with your work, but if you feel like you can achieve more, why don't you?
You know, the frame, that purple frame, bro, killer, dude, super killer. It makes the rest of the paint job pop so much harder.
It's unique too. That's what I love about it. You see so many AOZ kits because Advanced Xeon is a very popular kit brand. I am a fan of
Zeta.
the AOZ line.
Advanced
And
Zeta.
yeah, sorry. Advanced Zeta. I'm a fan of those too, and I can almost guarantee you won't find an Advanced Zeta kit that has been painted in this paint scheme. And that right there is like, oh, you know what? You know, you get the one record break, like, yeah, I did that. No one else did it, kind of thing. So it's really cool that you took that step to kind of say, you know what, I'm gonna go off the beaten path. You know, and
There you go.
it came out really well.
Yeah, man. But apart from what I've said, just a great color scheme. Your decal applications are on point. I don't care if they're the wrong decals or whatever. Yeah, you fight them great. They look great. Dude, you did an amazing job, and you know, I want to give props to you where props is due. You did like this frame, dude, is something I've not seen a lot of people do, even like on a high grade. So, you know, your level of control with your airbrush to be able to create this overcoat without pooling is spectacular. So,
Yep.
yeah, but again,
So-
I don't. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
I will say though, work on them story skills, bro.
Yeah,
that time
you had it.
Not there. That
Last time
entertainment
it was
just wasn't
so
there, man.
good.
You got us last time, but this time you were lazy. You gave us.
Yeah,
What
and
is-
anybody? Oh, sorry, Justin, continue.
What is that purple color actually called?
He said that is Moto Purple Clear.
Okay, because in my head I keep calling it Beetleborg purple. It reminds me of Beetleborgs. It's so sick, man.
It's
That should be the
beautiful. It's
name
got
for
a
it.
beautiful shine to it, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody doesn't follow him at this point because he's on every single episode. If anybody watches him, at Gunpla Noob, the 2 O's are 2 zeros. So please follow this man, Miguel. He needs it. I know this man just keeps upping his game all the time. So I don't know where you go from here, but definitely want to see and definitely want to find out. So yeah, thank you again for submitting, and thank you for submitting from all the past episodes. You know, definitely appreciate it, dude. Ooh.
I'm starting
All
to think
right.
Miguel's only doing it for the prize at the end of the season. He's like,
I
keep
really
entering,
hope
and
not.
I'll get more entries into the raffle.
I really, really hope it's not. But yeah, dude, great work, great work. So with that, let's go ahead and go on to our next critique. Right? This is a critique, right? Yeah, it is a critique.
This motherfucker just doesn't want to stand, does it? Behind
Uh,
you. He does not want to
It's
stand
the-
up.
Yeah, if you have the backpack on, no, that's why there's that
Yeah.
special.
I just put the little brace under him.
Yeah.
Like He's doing the Michael Jackson lean. He's like,
Shimona.
not right. It's not right.
Shimona. Does a little kick leg. Hee hee.
Yeah, no.
Pabs is stingy with his follows.
Excuse me? Excuse me? I'm stingy with my followers?
Oh shit!
Let's just say I follow everybody who's worth following.
Oh, who's filling in for Z now?
I'm just kidding. Okay, let's go ahead to our next. I'm trying to find it. There we go. Our next critique, and it is this guy, I guess, right here.
Oh, this guy.
Yo, I don't know what this dude does in the community. I don't like it.
Yeah, I talked
What
to
is
the guy.
that?
I talked
Julio,
to the guy on Twitch once, man. He's cool.
What is the clipping ups?
Oh. Clipping up.
do I not follow Miguel?
Damn, what the
know.
fuck? Abs?
Don't
I
follow.
genuinely thought I followed you, Miguel.
Did you unfollow him because he wasn't sharing your stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly
Oh,
it.
see, Miguel, you're just not a good friend. You're a supposed friend.
He was supposed friend.
Jesus, dude. My goodness.
Okay, so let's go ahead with this critique. At Clipping Nubs, I'm going to give you a critique right now
Yeah.
before we even show you build.
Oh, pre-critique.
Please describe this build better than Comic
It's like,
34.
you know.
I don't even remember what I said, dude.
All you said was Kamakiri 2034.
Oh yeah. All right, so I had a whole thing like mapped out for this whole build. It was for OMC, and if you guys don't know, OMC is the original mecha competition. I wanted to make some, the machines rise and try to take over. Came across decently with it. I kit bashed the hell out of a lot of pieces of things. I got a bunch of paint on it, as you can see. But it came out all right.
Touched it with some stuff, you know.
Yeah, I touched it with things. I put things on other stuff. And, yeah, I did what I did. It was all right.
So look, explain your thought process going into this build. Like, what was in your head? What were you wanting to interpret with this guy?
Like a mobile, not a fortress. What was like a tank, some sort of tank, and eventually it became insectoid. So I just kept going with that.
Beetle.
Yeah,
Love
And-
those details. I love this picture.
that's a good one.
I love this picture.
It's very
I'm telling
Warhammer.
you, when you threw that Barbados
It feels
chest on there,
Warhammer.
that was a Barbados chest, right? That
No.
made, his head.
That's a Hajiroboshi.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh no, that's
yeah, I
not
remember
even.
when you slapped it on there. I was like, wow.
Or is it the other guy?
Yeah, it's the other guy. It starts with an M.
I don't know IBO that well.
Arcosias.
Yeah,
There's so many, and they all
Marcosius.
look the same.
Oh,
Like core elements of them are similar. So it's like, which one is that? Anyway, I did track. Mind you, this is one of Julio's most ambitious kit bashes.
Yeah, ever.
And let me
And-
tell you something real quick,
Mm.
View. This is my favorite build of yours.
No.
Oh,
Yeah. So
hands
initially
down.
it was your Turn X GPO4 or the GPO2 bash was my favorite build. I saw it in person, all that stuff. I saw this build go from nothing, a bunch of random plastic pieces on your table, all strewn about in your Julio way. And you built this up into this thing, and every single photo you took of this thing told a story, and I loved it. And this is my favorite build of yours.
Thank you, Babs. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, hands down. I feel like, remember how we used to always beat each other up about kit bashing?
Yeah.
You just went miles ahead of me. I'm like, shit. I gotta catch up to Julio now. Like
This thing
your
looks-
creative juices were fucking flowing when
I
you were
was
putting this
milking,
together.
dude.
You were just drowning in the creativity.
that
and I loved
creative-
every moment.
That creative udder was flowing that night.
Oh,
This
my God,
thing
dude,
looks
big
like it
cummies.
needs-
so many big cummies.
Sorry,
Like
Justin, go ahead.
it looks like it needs like a like a hazard warning in front of the kit, like don't touch because you're probably gonna cut yourself. Like it looks so sharp, dude. It just looks like it'd fuck you up. It's gonna destroy the shit out of your hand if you pick it up.
It's not that
One
good.
one of my favorite things about this build is it lives in a world. Like it lives. Like you look at this and you go, yes, this belongs in something, and I want to see more of that something. That is one of the aspects that I love about this thing.
I had the whole idea of like ruined world Terminator type shit coming at you, and just mash that in my style. I would say.
Master, yeah. I gotta lay off the underboob, man. It's putting me behind. The distraction is strong.
Yeah. Now, in terms of like critiques on this thing, man, like one of the things that really pop out to me is even though you try to apply like some chunk to the legs, I feel like there's something kind of missing there. I know it gives it that insectoid kind of feel with the skinniness of the blades as the legs, and then as you go up, there's more mechanical detail. It feels like the proportions of that were just a little bit off for me personally.
Nah, I feel you. I was trying to chunk it up. I put all types of stuff. Those things are even thinner than what it looks like now.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right. I can fold them up. Like I had a whole flight mode idea, and I can fold those legs up to the sides, and it's got big gams.
I have angered Miguel,
take care of
guys.
that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, young protege. I will not give the ways of the underboob.
Under Bob.
Yeah, and Ty Furious is absolutely right. There's so much going on with this thing, but it belongs. And it's wild for me is again, seeing this in like as it started out as absolutely nothing and built up into all this is amazing because it's such a wild myriad of kits and pieces and parts of things that when you think about it shouldn't really go together, but they do.
I was scrambling towards the end. Man,
So-
I had a
You
lot
and me both, brother. You and me both.
You guys were burning the candle at both ends. The only thing I have a problem with is that damn thing you used to hold it up. I wish you had found a better way to hold it up without having to put the damn rod through the middle. Because I'm just like, that rod. Why
That's
is that
a rod,
there?"
man.
What I
I
should have
hate it.
done.
I don't
Julio,
know
man,
why it
It's
bothers
so
me.
supportive, though.
I should have
One
gave you
time.
my BLK2, my fucking ultra black paint.
Oh,
Give
super
you a
black.
little bottle of that, a little bit of it. I have a little
Yeah.
bottle myself, but I give you a little drop, little drip drop.
Yeah.
Just to help you hide that thing a little
Pictures.
bit.
I'm like, the rod. Why?
It's a rod.
I'm like, I know why, but it just bothers me for some weird reason.
Imagine having this photo without having this thing on there right there.
Yeah.
Would have expected like it would have just added to the levels. But this picture right here. If anybody plays video games, and I'm sure a lot of you do, it reminds me of like an Ori and the Blind Forest feel, look, kind of thing. Not in terms of art style, but just the storytelling. You know what I mean? Again, it's
I like the first photo. I
The first
love it. The first photo, yeah. I really like that first photo.
Your first photo was this one, right? This
That
one.
one, yeah.
Mm.
I like it. I was like, ooh, this is a good one.
So I got a couple things to say
Yeah,
about
go
it.
for it.
Go for
All
it.
right. So first off, I want to know what color green you use because that green is sick.
It's Mantis Green.
Justin
from,
loves the green.
From Splash Paints, Mantis Green.
Okay. Oh man, it looks so good on that. The other thing too is like this is supposed to be viewed as like a whole piece, right? Like not just that. It's supposed to have the guy like that because you did a great job on the diorama.
Yeah.
But something I wanted to say was your soldier guy in front. It doesn't pack the same oomph as the beast behind it. And when you do a piece like this, I had a mentor tell me a long time ago that if you're going to have more than one piece in your diorama, that they should both have the same kind of power, the same kind of visual, like you went 100% on both of them, right? And I see it when I see the big green like mantis monstrosity thing, but I don't see it with this guy. Like the effort, the amount of effort and love in this guy.
I do. I agree. There isn't as much of a visual impact on the Scout as there is on your Mantis bot. And I mean, again, since seeing this from start to finish, I understand why. But I feel like yeah, you did kind of miss a step where this could have really amplified your narrative. But since I know you were on a very tight deadline and you were running out of time, I get why it turned out the way it did.
Yeah. I didn't want to detract from the Mantis either. I'm like, if I make this little dude like killer, you know, like it might be a little bit too much for it, but I totally get what you're saying.
Right, because dude, it looks amazing, and obviously like it knocks anything I would build out of the water 100%. So, but I wanted to, when I looked at it earlier, I was like, man, the one thing about this, if I was going to look at it as a whole piece and I was a judge, I would definitely get some points off for the guy in front.
Mm.
Some either G Wiz or Gwiz, and I'm hoping
Quiz.
I'm hoping it's G Wiz.
Gee whiz, you bet.
But honestly, in truth, Julio, like I know you were disappointed with where you placed with this guy.
I was disappointed because I thought I did better than I did.
Sure,
And I had my assumptions high, which I probably shouldn't have.
I'm sure here.
A lot of it's subjective too.
Yes,
That's what it probably came down to was
myself, everybody on the show, everybody watching the show will tell you how much of an amazing job you did here.
Yeah.
Amazing job, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you told a story, you thought this through, you thought it from start to finish, you saw it through, you went through the frustrations, you went through the tribulations of all this, and you really challenged what you knew and what you could apply to this thing. And it sucks that it didn't get to where you wanted it to go, but you really put your heart and soul into this, and it shows. So I will give you props for that, dude.
Thank you, sir.
Absolute favorite.
Do you know, Julio, by chance, where you sat in the overall rankings?
No idea.
Okay.
you were
I have
fourth.
no
weren't
idea.
you? You were like fighting for third.
I have no idea.
No. There was
I thought he was like
a blue chappy
complimentary-
style one with bunny ears and a purple bike that were fighting for third and fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then he was, because I know he was definitely in the top five.
He should
And
have
I
been,
remember
Pretty fucking high up, I would
Cam
say.
had mentioned that he was a favorite of his, but that he
Yeah,
was-
Cam said that this was like one of his
something else.
favorite fucking builds, man. That's pretty
Yeah.
dope.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Considering, Julio, I goaded you into joining into OMC last year, and you accepted my idiotic timeline of 2 months to finish a project that we should have spent. Honestly, you should have spent like 8 months on it.
Yeah.
And we took
You guys had plenty of time.
quarter of the
Just
time.
gonna put that out there, but you waited till
Well,
the end to do it.
I was dragging my feet, and Julio wasn't even thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. And Julio was like, oh, yeah? And I was like, yeah, here's a little bit of inspiration. And Julio was like, I'm inspired. Let's fucking do this. And we fucking did it.
Go.
Here's the result, man. It fucking shows right here. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
Julio went the Bro Builder special on this thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wish that I hit it with some more oils and some more enamel washes because I think it would have sold some more like wear into it.
Mhm.
You know?
I think you have a good amount, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Whether because remember that line is so fickle, and based on what I remember when we talked about the story was these were autonomous robots that are like going on a killing spree, killing humans. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're very well kept because they have to be autonomous. So there's going to be the natural wear and tear hunting down humans and fighting through buildings against them, but you're not going to have an excessive amount of wear and tear to them because it wasn't like a long war. This was just in the
It's been a
presets of
year
the
so
war.
far.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
they're
Owens-
still relatively clean in the mix of things. I think the weathering you did on this was great. It matches
man.
the theme. It doesn't take away from the details because you got to be, especially with the amount of details you put on it, you got to play that line where you don't cover too much of the details with, because weathering itself is a detail.
Yeah.
So if you have too much weathering, you lose the rest of the visual aids for your other details, and then vice versa. If you have too many details but not enough weathering, it's a balancing act. So I think actually this is a pretty good amount. I wouldn't add or take away, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the fact that your details popped because of the amount of weathering you applied or lack thereof um, was more of a positive thing than a negative thing. You would have lost a ton of stuff here if you had applied more washes. Yeah, you would have lost like a lot of that purple,
Nah.
your engine burn or your metal burn here, your metal singe. It would have been yeah, it would have been a shame to lose that, and you kept that in there, and and all these little details, right? All these little details right here on the legs, man, freaking badass, dude. And I know you can't really see that, but
Thank you.
lost
Appreciate you guys.
yeah, man.
Yeah, man. You fucking
There you
kick
go.
ass this year.
So if you guys don't follow him, follow your glorious cult leader right here. What was this? Clipping Ubs.
Clipping Ubs.
Clipping Ubs. Give him a follow, man. Give him a
Everyone's
shout.
getting clipping ups.
Lying within the wardrobe shit is that?
If you guys aren't a part of it, join. Check them out, see what they're all about, and yeah.
OMC.
Hopefully, yeah. If you guys haven't checked out OMC, yeah, please do.
Yep.
The original mecha competition, or is it competition?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Check it out,
I
man.
wish I was quick like Brian and Julio are with builds, but I just know I could never
Our
meet the
test doesn't
deadline.
start until
Totally.
February, brother, and it
Yeah.
ends on October
I haven't even
31st.
finished
cannot
the
wait to
supposed
start.
finish.
I know. How are you doing on that machine Krieger build? I was trying to get you to start.
Well, it started. It started,
Okay.
but I got. Justin can attest to this. He saw me building it.
I did. Yeah, he had it
Right.
with him with the build day when I was there a month ago, a month and a
I
half
haven't touched
ago.
it since.
It can just be, yeah, it can just be clean too, or straight build. You don't have to do anything wild. Just have fun.
I want to do some weathering on it. I want to at least put some
Manny,
Some
you stupid.
effort into it.
I'm at the point where I jump too far in, and I'm like, oh fuck, now how do I finish this thing?
Well, I'm a little worried that you're going so off the beaten path for Machine and Kruger. Like,
I know.
people are gonna be
I'm trying to
offended.
dial it. I'm trying to dial it back
Yeah.
to Mach-K.
Like, I love it, but I feel like the purists will be like, "What is this? This is blasphemy."
Blasphemy.
This is my Mach-K build. This is not. I mean, I added a couple extra arms. See, I made this one a gun arm though, right? See, it's a gun arm. Gun
Yeah.
arms,
Yeah.
gun arms.
So it's great.
It's got a feel to it. It's just how I finish it and do the final details on it. Like I need to add some more mechanical details to it, match some of the armor plating, and then just really give it that Mach-K finish for it to not to be ostracized and kicked out of the group.
You don't want to offend Lincoln, right? Come on.
No, Link likes my creativity and he likes the work that I do, but I am not your regular person. So. Believe it or not.
I'm being yelled at.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
All right. So, let's go ahead and go back and put on our feature hats because we're going with another feature today or tonight. This time by this person.
Oh shit.
Oh.
J Shack. Get your shit. J
I
Shack.
wonder what build we're going to see.
I wonder what's in a horror ball.
So let's go ahead and talk. Let's see the description for this guy, and all it says is the toxic love horror, inspired by Tim Curry and Fern Gully. Really dug the oil and toxic look to it, as it covers up a previously colored horror done with enamel and got a little messy, to be honest, and drip pour techniques. So let's go
I
ahead.
own this.
Oh yeah. Julio has
I
it.
own this. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this too. I looked over this model quite a bit. I love the impasto that you got from your drip pour technique, Chunlin. It gives it a different kind of feel. And I was looking at it and I'm like, all right, so this is like giving me all sorts of weird good vibes, and like it has atmosphere and ambiance, and it looks like it's moving almost, like it's crazy. And then I turned around and it's all fucking toxic love, and I was like, oh, it all makes perfect sense. I love it.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I'm very big fingers.
The texture, the finish on it, everything, really, really nice. Conveying. It looks like a demon's booger. You know, I love it.
I was thinking it looked like one of those like Oros stones from Lord of the Rings or Tolkien's.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Julio,
I
the
love-
list on the OMC website is set to contest placement. You finished 6th overall. We're gonna say that it's first. It says the winner. So I'm Brian and so on.
yeah, so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I remember you were like battling it out for one of those. Like,
Yeah, I figured you were
Yeah.
pretty high up there. Yeah, I got second this year.
There was some really, really incredible pieces done in there.
It
Like
was good.
some
yeah.
really strange, some really nice. Like, it's a
it was
great
awesome.
competition. I can't
Well,
wait till February starts.
Year one, it was pretty heavy too. The competition was really steep, even though there wasn't nearly as many entrants. But this year, there was just so many more entrants with the same level of awesome builders. It was really, just getting better every year. So,
Let me say something real quick about Jay's Horror here. Much like Fern Gully, this is a very underrated piece, or one of your horror pieces right here. I absolutely love the colors. I love the fact that it's not a smooth application. And I know you absolutely hated the painting underneath, so it definitely shows. I love that you still managed to keep the eyes in there, despite the fact that you put like this heavy enamel layer on top. So really, really, I mean, your creativeness is one of your strengths, John. Then don't let anybody tell you you're talentless, because you definitely have talent.
yeah.
you know how to paint using alligator clips and airbrush.
So I love that this is a Fern Gully reference, because like I feel like I'm like one of 10 people who have actually seen that movie.
I own
What?
that shit, son.
Yeah, I love Fern Gully, man.
It's so good. And they straight ripped it off when they did James Cameron's Avatar. You motherfucker.
Yeah, it's pretty ripped up.
I said Fern Gully, go.
Remember, he's from across the ocean. Bear with him.
Fern Gully,
Fun Gully.
Fern
I was
Gully.
just listening to Spotify, and Toxic Love came on. I was like, what? This is tying together too quickly. Like, I'm like, yeah, I totally did hear that, right?
But yeah, dude.
Nice.
John, then
I mean,
don't
that's great.
let anybody
Ever.
ever. The things you do with these horrors is more than I can fathom.
Yeah. You do great work. There.
You do a lot of them too, which is commitment right there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Each one
exploring the
different and
medium.
unique, which is glorious.
Yeah, if people don't understand that's their problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're really just losing out.
Really it ties in with the base
Oh,
and everything.
and as a
Okay.
plug, at jshack.com.bigcartel.com, you could potentially buy, not this one because Julio has it, but
Mine.
one of her latest creations in horror art. So
Yeah, I mean,
on the market right now with some stickers and such as well.
She's also currently doing like tie-dye t-shirts, right, with like the Xeon.
Yeah.
Yep, for
Yeah.
Xeon, Anaheim Electric, Federation,
So definitely check them out. I know she's starting to finally get
Anaheim
into
Engineering. Is that what it is, right? AE.
No,
The,
Anaheim Electronics.
electronics. Yeah.
Yeah, electronics. Okay, that's what it is.
Electric.
I know.
It's like a Mr. Sparky spin-off or some shit. It's a
She doesn't want to get
franchise.
sued, guys. It's Anaheim Electrics.
Anaheim Electabuzz. Oh wait, no, that's another thing. I'm pretty sure it's like not DreamWorks. It's like it's something else, right? Justin.
It's Paramount, isn't it?
No,
got,
it's just some random animation company that made it. It's like
Okay.
FAI Films and Croyer Films.
Oh,
I just
wow.
looked it up.
Nice.
What did
Oh.
they make anything else other than Fun Gully?
I think they made Fern Gully too.
Oh, I didn't watch Fun Gully too. There you go.
Guys, what should we make next? Fern Gully was pretty successful. Kind of.
So
Well,
I just
it's-
remembered. I'll have to send you guys the video. It was a guy on YouTube who remakes Disney movie or Disney songs, the villain songs, and
Wow.
that's where I heard "Toxic Love" from the sludge. And I was like, so it must be Disney
No, well,
because all of the songs
They
in
might
his
have bought it.
lineup are Disney. So he's got Lion King,
it's-
he's got the Notre Dame and all that. And I remember I heard it earlier today. I was like, Toxic Love. Did I just hear the song? It's like, oh wait, yeah, I think I did.
But yeah, so John Lynn, aka JShack, store jshack.bigcartel.com. If you guys are interested in picking yourself up a horror, maybe like this, or maybe something completely different,
She's
check her
got
out.
Miss
paintings,
Robin
all
Williams
types
even
of
more now.
stickers, pins.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What else?
It's
Got
bad.
t-shirts, pins like all of them. All of, Julio said. I can't think of anything else she's doing.
She's got
She's
Tie-dye, stickers,
canvases.
pins, and
She's
kits.
got paintings, original paintings. You guys can
I
get.
Yeah,
have
that's true.
paintings. I have John paintings. They're way up there. I'm not gonna say them.
Yeah, and she also has a. She also she's. I think she said she's starting up like live streaming again. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm pretty sure she's trying to change up all of her like handles throughout the internet into just at JShack.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely check her
Keep
out.
an eye on her IG. She has updates on there.
Exactly. So there you go. So yeah, John Lynn, please keep doing what you're doing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It's good stuff. All right.
You gotta make another one, Plastic Love.
Now I'm trying to think who else was in that movie because you had like Tim Curry, you had Robin Williams. There's like quite a lineup for voice actors.
I think that's like the main. Damn it!
I don't know.
It's
I
been
had
a while.
it on.
That was
I
like
had it
early
on
90s.
VHS.
Dude,
Yeah.
I came here ready to talk about Gundam, not about Ferngully. I'm working on my Ferngully knowledge, bro.
Straight up.
We
I
talk
remember
about
how,
it.
beautiful, how visually stunning it was. It was gorgeous.
Dude, early 90s cartoons were crazy too. They were really dark.
That
Steven
because-
Spielberg.
Mhm. And then she says Mondays times may vary. Will go vary.
Nice, Jay.
And yeah, what's up? What's up, Travis?
What up, Travi?
And then Zach says, I've seen a few horrors on GBC. Definitely want to buy one. So yes, Zach, if you want to check it out, dude. Well, let me put the banner back up.
Yeah.
JShack.bigcartel.com.
Yeah,
Check
we
it
had a
out.
horror here.
Oh yeah, and she does commissions, guys. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
She'll
Yeah,
commission a horror
if you
piece.
if you want a specific type of horror, like a specific like art style. Sure.
Christian Slater is in Ferngully, bro. What the?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the voice of he's the voice of the guy, right? Yeah. I couldn't remember who it was. I was
Evil
gonna
corporate
say
guy.
Ethan Hawke, but I was like, it's not fucking Ethan Hawke.
Not fucking Ethan Hawke.
The only
It's
the
not
only
fucking Ethan.
the only Christian Slater line I can remember is, "I found your orange sherbets" from Austin Powers. That's Pete Christian Slater. There you go.
Peak.
All right. So now with that feature out of the way, let's go ahead and go back. I don't know why this is still showing. Let's go back to all. Well, we already went back to critiquing Ash Ketchum Hand. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and.
Keep going, Babs. I'll just keep playing.
Let's go to our next critique. Let's go to our next critique. And this is again, in the same vein as Zach did earlier.
Sorry, guys.
We're gonna go ahead and do our next critique, and it is by this gentleman right here.
Oh,
I don't know
another
why.
local guy.
I don't know why. Let me just move that real quick because it's not supposed to be
Yes, that
that
should
way.
be a banner.
There we go. By this gentleman right here, Mr. David Domingo, aka @dotted. Is it 0909, Justin? I just want to make sure that is correct.
I think it's just 909.
0909?
It's 0909.
0909?
Right. Yeah, 0909.
I wanted, yeah.
Started
Okay.
0909.
He,
Is Miguel requesting my Oscar figure? Oh.
He wants us to critique it.
It is on
I have no
909.
problems
I
with
double
it.
checked.
okay,
Don't hurt my
0909.
feelings like that, Miguel.
Kyle, I'm going to specifically ask you to submit Oscar for critique.
All right, I have all the pictures. I'll send them later tonight.
Oscar Langley, so are you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not Soyu. It's what's her last name in the rebuild, Justin?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't. Sorry, I'm
Sakunyai or whatever.
I'm a
because
I'm
it's
a
the rebuild
OG.
version of her.
Sorry, I'm a OG Ava guy. I'm not your
I
rebuild.
know.
Freaking hippies.
You're eventually gonna want it. I'm
Fucking
gonna send them to
hippies.
your house.
At
No,
Dark,
I've seen 1 and 2.
Anyway, we're here for David's build.
at Dark 0909, at David Domingo, another local builder here from Chicago, exceptionally talented builder. Let's go ahead and say look at his build name / background. And his description goes: spur of the moment, wanted to try something new, intrigued by the kit, so I tried this. Since Drift is also one of my favorite Transformers, spoilers, it is the Drift Drift kit. This is a base kit, no customization done to the plastic, custom paint, no stickers, mostly with color separation, and a little panel line, so no scribing, so panel wash technically. So let's go ahead and share his build. Sure.
Gotta critique the sensei, man. Never thought I'd be here.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Started from Orlando, now we're here.
So real quick, most of these photos are overexposed.
That is the.
I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the first thing that kind of pops out to you when you're looking at these photos. The gamma correction on these things are a little definitely off. You're getting some overexposed spots, like not even on the focus itself, but all over, which is kind of telling me that there is a very strong light to either side, either the left or the right of the kit, or just one giant one in front, and it's not diffused or deflected into anything. So it's definitely something that you notice straight away as you look at these images. Anybody else?
Yeah, I want to. I'm trying to remember where it is. There's a panel line, and I told David about this, and I want to find it so I can remind him of this panel line. It bothers me because I know he knows how to fix them, and I'm like, David, why did you phone in on the panel line? I think it's on the shoulder, if I remember correctly. I'll wait until you zoom in and catch it, but I was like, there's the one that he kind of missed one. And I was like, because the kit has its own natural color separation built into it. So there's not really like a lot of panel lines, but it was like one stark one, and I'm like, oh, you could have really sealed that one up. And I was like, oh, there it is. It's in the back of the arm joint. That's what it's right there in the corner there. And I was just like, come on, it's very subtle. And it's each kit's different. Now, mind you, this is not a Gundam. This is a Transformer. It's which one is this guy?
This is Drift.
Drift.
Yeah, Drift. There we go. And newer kit too, so newer technology. I caught that. I was like, oh man, you could have really patched that up.
Yeah, those effects parts in the shoulders, the clear yellow ones, they're kind of jarring because everything else is so nicely panel lined. There you get to those and it's like, oh, that's weird. They're kind of like jewelly and looking a little funko.
Yeah,
everything else is like so.
From what sorry, Brian. From what I remember, those are supposed to be tail lights.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
But if the whole model is like very nicely panel lined, excuse me, and separated and everything, and then you get that and it just kind of looks like, oh, this is obviously a plastic part stuck in at the back here. Like I get it that they're tail lights, it's fine.
Yeah.
But
I'm just
critiquing.
The little gradient in them, painted them, they will look really, really nice.
No,
a little something. Yeah, hit them with some transparent gold or something, just to give it a little bit of anything beyond that like raw plastic look. Because there's a bunch of. Sorry.
I was gonna say I like the pre-shading. I feel like certain parts of it are a little heavier here and there than other parts, but I'm thinking it's just like because pre-shadings to account for some type of weathering or gradation in the paint of the paint that's covering that metal. But some of it's a little inconsistent here and there.
I absolutely would have loved some color separation on some of the details, like the gold on the chest. It's kind of very uniform. You're missing a lot of detail over here. Same with the side of the legs right here. It would have been great to just kind of picked out. You couldn't wait. You didn't need English, Chris. Use it.
It's even your first language.
I know. You didn't have
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
you didn't have to go all out and kind of paint every wire or paint every circular detail, but one of those two things would have been really nice, and it would have broken up the massive tone of gray right here, and even though you've got these blue ore parts right here on his chest, this gold kind of just washes out what could have been great picked out detail. But I think your choices of a very muted red with the depreciated gray and white really pop. I think it works, especially with this character, knowing who Drift is and kind of his original color scheme, which is exactly almost this. It definitely works, and I love some of the details that you did pick out, like the red on the sword and the gold on the larger kind of the bigger claymore sword right here. I think really add to the kit.
One thing that like stands out to me that I enjoy is the weight of the panel wash and the like judicious use of removing that. Like if you go to the inner leg, we're in the same image. Like down there, the lower, yeah, right there. How it's like thicker and weightier at the bottom, and it's a little bit thinner at the top. There's some other images where it just looks more dynamic, and it helps to add like a level of depth and weight to the lower part of the leg. And I feel like that is pretty well done.
Yeah.
Mm.
So this is my boy. So I already know whatever I say. I'm gonna get a phone call in 2 days, motherfucking me about what I said. So I'm just gonna go in on it. All right. First off, I love the dynamic shading, and I love what you're talking about with the panel wash, where like it adds the depth. Another thing I want to point out is how shiny those blades are. The two that he has in front, because you can actually see the reflection in them with the light.
Yeah.
I think that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But coming back to what Kyle said, I would hit him for the seams, because there's some seams that are probably could have been using some closing, and he had some masking and bleeding issues. Most notably on the big sword on back. If there's another picture where you can see like the back side of it, there's where the gold is, where the gold meets the red on that like inlay, you can see like there's like some like chipping kind of thing, like where the tape was.
Edges.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you really gotta like zoom in to see it. So
I zoomed out instead. Damn.
Hey, I'm not frozen anymore.
Nice. Oh yeah, he can see it.
Just about, yeah. There's a very minuscule amount of bleed, yeah.
There's a little bit of lift off, it looks like. I have that issue too. It's a motherfucker, man. Especially when you have to mask things off so delicately and like in tight spaces.
Yeah. It's a fickle game.
You guys have any tips on that? Like, do you guys cut the edge of the paint with a knife or anything like that?
No, I actually have bad luck with cutting edges like that. So normally I just do the small squares method, and it's hit or miss on whether it's a clean. Like earlier today, I was doing that with the sand rock, and I one part perfect, same identical part on the opposite side. I got a little bit of bleeding in the edge in the corner because it wasn't good coverage. And I was like, "Ugh, I'm okay with that." I don't know if I'm okay with that.
I like to apply some pressure into the edges of the masking tape with a silicone brush.
Yep.
So that way it you can apply that pressure and it will it'll push
damage
that
the
down
or the paint
without damaging pieces or anything like that with anything harder than the tip of that silicone. So really easy and really simple way of trying to reduce your masking bleed. But sometimes it does get away from you, and tolerances of different masking tape from different companies can also mess with your
especially if the paint is flooded, it will lift the masking tape. So if you're not doing like light passes with it, or you hit it too heavily by accident, because it happens to everybody, that could bleed in sometimes as well. I've had that happen a couple times where masking tape sealed perfectly, but the paint was just a little too liquidy and just happened to weasel its way in even with that. So it's always a lot of features that kind of play into some of those issues. Oh yeah. So if you haven't been to Orland Park Hobbytown, in Illinois, USA, you should go there because 2 of our kits from today are in the cabinet. And
There you
soon, the Sandrock I'm going to finish, I'm going to put it in the kit to show these guys I'm still building Gunpla. I
I'm
may have
still
forgotten
alive,
I haven't
guys.
put since I haven't put shit in that cabinet.
Babs, can you go back to the chest picture? Back. That one.
This
Forward.
Forward.
Maybe that one. Is it that one? I think it's that one. Yeah. That gold bleeding onto the blue effector, or am I bugging?
I think it might be
correct.
chipping from putting the part together because they're 2 separate.
It
I
does
think
look
it's,
something
I think
very.
it's some chip off. Yeah.
Was that hand painted? Do we know? Do you guys know?
No, I don't think David hand paints.
No, he doesn't usually hand paint.
So yeah, it was probably some bleed from mask.
I'm trying to think because I've never built. Ooh, you built the draft, right?
Yeah. The
Are
drift.
those parts one piece or are they?
No, it's 2
separate?
pieces. You pop in the blues.
Yeah. Okay. Because I would think he would have it deassembled and then assembled, and that could be just from pressure fitting it. I don't know.
I'm having a lot of seam fix on my Devastator. I'm gonna put that together. I got one of those. I'm excited. I know Brian put one together. Big boys.
I really want to check out those Flame Toys Transformers kits.
They're great, man. I got the negative Optimus Prime. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
And-
Nemesis Prime.
Yeah, Nemesis Prime and Drift, and they've both been great. Like really nice, like a little bit more advanced as a HG, but really nice.
I keep holding out. I think for them to like make a sound wave. Like just make a sound wave kit, please, and I'll buy it right away.
You know what? I would love them to make a sound wave from the Bumblebee movie because I know 3A came out with a figure, and also look at this guy right here.
Frozen.
Oh yeah, Frozen again. Hey, just enjoy this smiling face, guys. Enjoy. While I come over here laying my head down because I have a fill-in.
But this came out great, honestly, because I know right out of the box, it's not this color separated at all. Like he did a great job.
Yeah,
This looks phenomenal.
this looks like it popped right out of an IDW comic.
Yeah,
I really,
yeah.
I enjoy IDW's iteration of Drift, like the design, and obviously the Flame Toys took that and that design and applied it into a real life thing. And yeah, he really did that thing justice. And you know,
I would have tried to throw some chipping on it a little bit, to give it that like comic book feel. But this looks phenomenal.
I think he
rough and
killed
ready
it
look.
on like the logos on the
Yeah.
Autobot logos.
Yeah. And you said he doesn't hand paint it, right? So he
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
all masking. Yeah.
masked that off, gave it a good spray, and filled it in. That is really, really nice, man.
And this will be a little bit of inside joke. I have to give kudos to David for not touching his kit. He has a bad habit of not waiting for things to cure, and he
He
puts
is
fingerprints on his kit.
horrible at
So,
that.
I'm glad to see he has learned not to touch kits before the paint cures.
Kyle, I
Yes, enjoy, Wayne.
I already know me and you can expect in the group chat tomorrow. What did you guys say about me touching kits? What'd you say?
Touch them with your dirty hands.
I have the Devastator Flame Toys kit, which is pretty tight. I got it from Bluefin for doing stuff for him. But you were talking about Soundwave, and I just remembered that the last deck that I actually bought has got Soundwave and then Starscream's shoulder.
That's
OG
dirty.
Soundwave too.
Right? And then here's my grip tape on the other side. I figured it'd be tight to go with like the Astral grip tape. But yeah, this is what I used to do. So you can see my line from doing backsmiths. That's where my backsmiths line is. Yeah. Anyway.
Anti-ventriloquism. Yep, that's right. I'm so good, my mouth doesn't even move. This is skill, guys. I've perfected it finally after years of training. I can now freeze frame myself and have a conversation, and people think, "Oh, I'm not moving." Like, it's great. There are no strings on me, guys.
But anyway, Let's go. Yeah, so David Domingo at Darted0909. Please give him a follow, man. I mean, he's made some really good stuff in the past,
Oh, yeah.
and this drift is no different. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Transformers, and he definitely brought he took the essence of drift and applied it to this model kit. So really well done on that. So yeah, man, here we go. So
I wonder how long I'm gonna be frozen for.
Hope forever. Because
Screenshot this shit. You wouldn't have to actually, because it's already screenshotted.
It's so good. But yeah, so let's go ahead.
This is my picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh,
Wait, hold on.
Ruined.
No, it's not frozen.
All right, so let's go ahead and flip the script and go to our
See
lost
if I can get a good
our
pose.
lost feature of the night, and knowing the level of information that we're gonna go through, this is probably gonna be the lost submission of the night too. So let's go ahead
Damn it.
and
Motherfucker.
go ahead and get this man's
So,
name.
how's it go? There we go.
Motherfucker.
Kyle, wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
It's ingrained in my DNA, man.
I read that in the letter Kenny voice.
Yep.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Justin, did you know that?
What?
I'm in Leonard Kenny.
Dwayne.
Oh, God.
All right, let's go ahead and show. So this is a different kind of feature, but it is technically a feature. So it's this gentleman right here.
Who that guy? I know that guy.
Mhm.
Bra builder.
Bob Builder.
And
Hey.
so let's go ahead and give this man's build name / background before we show it off. And this is the Breagle Sniper Custom Calamity 2017 work in progress photos. So this is a massive resin model that I wanted to add some of my own flair. This incredibly heavy model is intended to be statically posed. So I said, F that, because I'm not going to say, Leon, fuck that. And added a ton of posable joints utilizing mega-sized Zarka components and polycaps. This is the build work in progress. So let's go ahead and
Ready for these delicious WIP project pictures.
then we're going to go ahead and have Brian kind of talk us through it because it's a
Because, woo,
Yo.
some good
It's
resin,
like
dude.
265 piece resin kit.
Oh my goodness.
God damn.
I'm gonna have to get a calamity kit one of these days.
Word up.
Yeah. Each one of those little pinholes I drilled out with a like 0.03 millimeter pin drill. There's like between this side and the other side, I think there's like 130 or 40 holes to remake the remake the detail, and that stuff is all hidden, by the way.
He puts together. Fuck.
Yeah, so everything that you're looking at here has been cleaned up and redressed and sanded and prepped. So all the lines have been chased. Everything has been worked to be the proper. As you can see, there's a little bit of an air bubble on the inside there that I didn't quite chase yet. But yeah, this is a dry fit. Yeah, the castings that come from a house in Germany, I believe. And they're pretty good. These ones were okay. I had to do some heat reforming, which is a little tough because they are thick fucking parts. This is a solid model. It weighs like, I can't remember, like 16 or 17 ounces or something like that. It's pretty heavy.
Almost a solid pound.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, there's more details there, all chased out and then reformed to create more detail because it's pretty flat. I love Luca's detail. It's so much fun to play with.
So when you get this kind of kit in the mail, Brian, you're looking at it, usually. So I know you've worked on several Calamity builds at this point.
No, this is the only one.
Is this the only one? Oh, you're right. Okay,
You've had this one for quite some time, right?
You've had this one and looked at others.
Yeah. No, I have this one. I have the Pinkman. I bought the Bower from him. He signed the Bower for me. I met him like a few years back, which is cool.
Now, would you
I'm a creative, so we both make models and shit. So.
would you say Calamity / Lucas, like the quality of his build, has it leveled up in the time that you've built this Brigo, or has it stayed a constant level?
Well, this no. So this is the 2017 Sniper Custom, or Sniper Edition. I customized it. There is a Hunter Edition that came out in 2015 that has a shotgun and is slightly different. Like this one has like redesigned legs and a redesigned, like the gun is redesigned and some of the pelvis is redesigned too, which I went in and I redesigned it myself. So, because I'm just that kind of guy. But yeah, this is
it. Man, this is the worst Frozen picture ever. I'm being possessed, guys.
Pretty good, guys. It looks like you drew your eyelids on your eyes on your eyelids. You're trying to pass off in class while you're sleeping.
Don't worry, Brian. I'm paying attention. I swear. Hi, guys. Look at it. I have an underliner. Hi, guys. I'm here for critical builds.
Oh my god.
Y'all better be screenshotting the shit out of that.
Inadvertent joy. Anyway, back to the business.
So this is just dry assembled and pinned. So I put the model together and pinned the parts together to get an idea as to what I was working with before I went ahead and did any crazy customization or lengthening or widening.
One thing I admire about you, Brian, is the fact that you looked at this, went, "Oh, that's a good amount of detail. I feel like I can add more."
Yeah, well, a little bit. I was like, I think I can make it better.
There you go.
I mean, and I respect Luca, and of course, and talk to him upon occasion. But so this is the model just balancing like a little toddler.
Oh, I know what that looks like.
Right, steps. You can do it, little buddy. I swear, you're gonna make it. So this is an example of some of the stuff that I did to the arms. So these are all the parts that go into one of the arms, or I guess two arms. Yeah, two arms. And what I did here is I replaced the ball joint and the receiver with a polycap and a brass stud and another round polycap, essentially. So I think the next picture should show what that looks like assembled. So there's what I did. I took the receiving point and then I drilled it out by hand. I do all this stuff by hand. And then I carved the wings for the polycap to be received. And I set the polycap into the part to receive the ball joint. And then cut off the other ball joint and then drilled and set the new one in the reciprocal one. They're made to go together. And so now the arm has like total posability. You can take it apart to paint it, put it back together. That was the whole idea behind it, was that I wanted to make it posable. I wanted to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more like structurally sound, and then basically ease the ability for me to be able to paint it without having to glue after the fact. Yeah, and there's...
Did you use your laser hands to...
it, baby.
God damn it. I have to use my voice. Did you use your laser hands? Brian, that build is so good.
Yeah, you can see there that I cut the ball joint off and I did this. And so I'm doing all this work and I'm sending these progress photos to Luca. I'd be like, "Yo, Luca, this is what I did to your thing." He's like, "Yeah, I didn't expect that."
It's like, oh, okay. That's
yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
thing that
cool.
you didn't do, I'm going to do.
So yeah, here it is with some of the. This is with most of the joints, I think, redone with the polycaps. The mega size polycaps, if you guys aren't familiar with them, they like actually have a ratchet to them a little bit, so they like click, 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 click. So like the hips, when they're set in, they actually like pose them and they hold the weight because the model is so very heavy. Here in the waist, you can't see it, but that down point is another polycap. You can see it barely, right? So yeah, in the pelvis, that was one of the first ones I did. I drilled it out and I set a big square polycap, and then on the underside of that pivot point, I put the reciprocal, like the nub, the male part of that. And then so that gives the waist the ability to rotate and set, where in the instructions it's like I illustrated for you to put 2 pins in that. and like make it a fixed pose. So what that does, unfortunately, is the way that the model is designed, and that it closes off the back of the pelvis, and you lose all of the detail from the underside of the like the upper chassis, and then all the cool shit that's down in the waist. So by adding that, I was able to also change the geometry of the model itself and open up the inside of it a little bit more to expose all these beautiful details that Luca put in there.
Yeah, because yours stands pretty tall. Like you have it like, you know, straight back. It's not hunched or anything. It stands pretty, you know.
Yeah, a lot of the Briegels you'll see, they're all really like
hunched over. Yeah, it's that typical fridge with the chicken legs kind of.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Mech warrior kind of thing, like, oh, big body.
Yeah, definitely.
Legs.
Yeah, or like a Dragon's Heaven. There you go. There's an example of some of the polycaps and the pegs and the assemblies that I did. So
here are those ratchet teeth right there.
Yep, exactly. And then set into the hub, and then the bottom part is the hip joint, which is I added 2 separate polycaps to, as you can see there. It's a large one for the hip, and then the other one just for the top of the thigh. So
now, Brian, where did you get that polycap with the ratcheting teeth from?
They're from Mega Size Zaku's. I got a couple of Mega Size Zaku's to do a crazy project that I've been working on for a few years. It's been on the side skirts from a really rare, random F91 Harrison Martin style comics from Skullheart. If you guys know the manga, okay. It's this crazy 4-armed mobile suit piloted by new type chimpanzees. So I've got the majority of that. I had to buy 2 mega size Zaku's for that, and I only needed like, you know, part. So I have like all of these extra parts, which is why those of you that went through the bash box saw that I threw the mega size head with all the stuff and everything, like a little, you know, sculpture that's in there.
Oh, I'm excited. We're doing a rounds net right now. The box just got delivered or sent out. Excellent. So like, ooh, fun stories.
Excellent. Yeah, this is just more like example of the detail of everything put together and chilling out happy. The work.
Fucking Manny.
Oh, there's the gun.
Jared kind of let himself go.
Okay. Yo, that gun got my attention though. I'm a big fan of like big rifles with kits.
That sniper rifle is very long.
It's like taller than a kid.
Brian, Brian, remind me how tall you are again.
I'm 6'4".
And you got big ass hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's like 10 inches across.
Bro, you got Shaq hands. What the fuck?
Yeah. Guy. There you go. And then this show a little bit of the
check out
the
that
example of the height of the legs. That shows the examples of the height and the legs. You can see the difference of the height between the ones that I added. So there's just the 2 polycaps, or not the polycaps, but the 2 pegs that I added in, and then I added in height in the spring, and then down below in the ankle, I added a bit of height down there too. And I went back in and like filled all that stuff in with epoxy putty and like solidified it and everything before the end. But we'll get into that when I do the painting.
That's a Brian Bro Builder laser hand special right there. Always.
With and it changed the geometry of it, because what happens is the way that the Luca had designed it, and it said if you don't peg it, the waist, you can see right here, the hip is behind the ankle, right? And then that model itself has a big dumper on it, so it's gonna want to fall back. So what I wanted to do was to add some geometric elements to it, extending the different parts that Luca made, and then bring that point to in front of or equal to.
So you're changing the center balance. That's good. So it really makes the kit more stable.
Yeah, that was the idea was to make it more stable and to add a little bit. It opened up opened it up a little bit. I don't know. I submitted a bunch of photos. I'm giving a couple of doubles in here. Sorry. And there it is, freestanding with all of the polycaps and everything. You can see them if you zoom in on all that shit. It's a weird design. So that hip, normally the hips face down, so that hip faces up, right? So it goes in sideways and up. So. And you can see the big dumper here. So that hip up into the thigh, which is kind of a bizarre way to do that, because it makes the model want to fall apart. But the polycaps and everything hold together really, really well. Yeah, there you go. You can see I
Okay.
you see I added in a spring detail at the bottom there.
Woo.
But yeah.
Money.
Yeah, there's my
God.
GBWC Best in Show placard in the background there, flexing.
Oh man, I froze again. Now I'm the Flash, guys. Caught me in motion.
You're doing One Punch Man sidesteps.
So fast.
Yeah. No, but this model is so nice, guys. They're expensive as holy fuck, but it's a really great model.
It looks like if Votoms and like what's that mech game? Oh no, dude, it's gonna bother the shit out of me. Armored Core. It's like
Yeah.
if Votoms and Armored Core like had a baby.
I could totally see that. But yeah, so I decided that because I opened everything up and added this extra detail, that I needed to add some more armor to it because it was, that opens the ankle completely and exposes it to gunfire. So I made a few armor pieces to add to the legs because they were so open. Luca's original design, like we talked about, was a little bit more compact. So, the parts weren't as exposed. But so I added that little bit of the cowl on the front there that's made out of I think that's what is that?
It's that donut.
It's a knee, right?
It's the
No,
donut.
it's not. It's part of a lower leg for a G-Reco kit called the fuck
There was
me.
an orange and green donut from like
No. I
That's
can't
what I was
remember.
thinking.
Oh no,
the
the hammer.
life raft jet.
Yeah, no, I have that. I wouldn't. No, are you kidding me? I wouldn't. My flying hamburger. I wouldn't cut it up for that. But no, that and I think that the other part is from a Gear Dogga. Yeah,
Okay.
With
And then
the
the
back
parts-
shin or that front
the
section?
front in the front. Yeah, in the front, the
Okay.
lower, the green part. The yellow part is from the G-Reco kit. The green part is from, I think it's from a Gear Dogga. The stuff in the
Yes.
back is made out of like Guccian and some other stuff.
The Cassaccia, right? That's no. I was thinking the Cassaccia is the upper shin leg vents.
Oh yeah, no,
They-
actually it is.
they
I
look-
bet it is.
yeah.
Actually, I bet that's a bash of both of those for the for the vents, straight up. But I'm just trying to like do minimal stuff to not like detract from Luca's work, but try and enhance the stuff that he did.
Yeah.
I made you can kind of see there. I made another part up on the upper thigh to kind of like hide some of that stuff, and then I added another vent in there that you're not going to probably
That
see
is-
until.
That is 100% Vidar right there.
Yeah, that's a big part of Vidar leg. Just cut it up. You can see it's even just blue tacked in place to kind of like get me an idea. But I added another vent on the front of that using MS parts and tied it all together. Here's some of the you have to add a bunch of like wiring, and so I got my own gauge of wire because the wire that Luca supplied was like because I extended everything, not enough wire, and two, it just didn't have the right kind of weight that I wanted, so I used that rated like 11 gauge or whatever. Like, this is nice, Manny. I'm glad I could tickle your pickle. Yeah, there's just the arm with the wires and stuff to build WIP, fun stuff.
Wait. Is this
And then are any of these wires
Might be a lot of fun.
the epoxy made wires with the roller?
Nope. They're all flexible. This is all actual, like all the gray stuff is stuff that came with that Lucas sent with the kit. Do I have any of it still? And then this is the other stuff that he sent. That's just not. It's like not quite.
What's
the
up,
right kind of
Days
stuff.
World?
Okay, so it's like sheeted or sheathed.
Totally
clothing wire
sheathed. It's
kind of
not as
thing.
much as like the Ethernet wire. Like I love the Ethernet, like the thin wires. I used a ton of those on my OMC build this year. It's similar to that. It's just like a 3-wire, some really
Okay.
small gauge 3-wire. It doesn't say anything on it. Wait, here it is. It's like, what
It's
the
probably
fuck?
like European Numex wire.
No, dude, it's telephone wire.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah,
got
but it's
the
not
yellow,
flat.
blue, and white in it.
No, it is blue, white, and red. No, it is yellow, blue, and white. Yeah, right on, Kyle. Yeah,
I know my data cable.
that's good. It's good.
I don't know how to install it. I've just seen a fair amount of it.
You're fucking tight. You're tight. No stress.
So if you guys want to see like the end result of this guy, please bug Brian to submit like final.
Oh yeah,
This thing.
I'm not done with it. I'll submit paint. I'll do painting whip next
There
show.
you go, painting whip. There you go.
Oh,
So
yeah, 'cause
this is like
you went pretty well on the weathering on that one, if I remember
A
correctly.
bit. I did some. I started. I'm not finished.
You did some
I
chipping.
entered it in a contest.
Yeah.
I entered this in a contest, so I hustled to get this fucking. I built this all in like 2 months or just under 2 months. So again,
I remember that competition, Brian, and I remember how
Yeah.
I never met the deadline at all.
Oh yeah, that's Asuka, right?
It was a year later I finished it.
Kyle was like he was frozen in time, so you couldn't get that done.
It's hard to finish kits when you're just stuck in a time warp.
Mhm.
Yes, if you guys want to see more of this, tune in to the next episode 4, and we'll go through Brian's painting work in progress. And I think this was something kind of different, just to kind of show you like one of our kind of thought processes, more specifically Brian's thought process whenever he's building these things, or kind of looking at his progress through a critical eye. So I thought it was a kind of an interesting thing that we could talk about.
I could have done more of an overarching thing for the whole build, but it's like there's so many little things that go into the whole process that it's like to just like slam fuck the show with it. It's not a good thing. It's
Right.
like you get lost. It gets lost in the. I talk a lot as it is, so
It's like
Uh,
it's like having a pizza, but you don't cut it into slices. You just eat the whole-
Brian, you got your own show, buddy.
I have a couple of my own shows. Man.
The thing is,
We'll talk about it on Tuesday if you want. We could just make a full special of going over it on Tuesday. I wouldn't mind it. That'd be awesome.
Could be an
Just to
interesting, yeah. It could be an interesting.
See, I love Brian's work in progress pictures because it gives you so many ideas. You're like, oh, I could mix those parts together.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep that in my head
it was
for
like
later.
that was 25, probably 23 original photos out of almost 800 photos for that work in progress right now. So it's like you gotta.
It gets me at the worst pictures.
So you have to like
Miguel's asking you a question.
Oh, Miguel, what's up?
to take a grain. Sticker Studio.
Miguel, they are doing something other than the wound wart. That's AOZ specific. So I'll share that more with you guys. Probably on Tuesday stream.
Legit.
Because,
I love Pabs' resin update. I gotta make a banner for it.
But for now,
It's
I
resin
think
time. Resin time. Oh,
I think this is
resin
a-
time.
this is a good spot to kind of stop, right? Because we've gone over a lot of time, and I've been trying my best to show off Kyle and his frozen.
Pabs already froze me. I'm already stopped. I'm ahead of you guys.
Would you
My stream ended 20 seconds ago.
Yeah,
would you be cool with me saying something before you close out?
Oh, dude, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you get a moment.
Dude, it's been awesome being on the show with you guys. Awesome meeting you, Julio, meeting you, Brian. I haven't been able to build the past couple months because I'm waiting to get the rest of my belongings. But seeing things like this, like, put the foot in my ass to be like, yo, dude, I want to build more now. I want to like get back and start doing crazy shit again. So thank you for everybody who submitted stuff and let me critique your stuff, and obviously the features too. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this show. Like, it's not like as much as Julio hates me saying this, it's never been a roast show, right? We were never here to just roast. It's to light a fire under somebody's butt to look at these builds and go, man, these builds are on another level. Yeah, but, maybe I think I can achieve that, or I see these things and I can do it, and it's something we kind of try our best to push people towards. Like, if these builds are absolutely amazing, you can do this too. If you're stuck, and you're having trouble, this show helps with having 5 or 6 pairs of eyes and to kind of help you see uh, things that you wouldn't normally if you were just sitting on your own in front of a table or in front of your workstation. So, yeah, thank you for that, Justin. I really appreciate you saying all that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem, man.
Appreciate you.
So, with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and go through our roundtable to to see where we can find everybody. So let's start with this guy.
Me. You can find me here on my YouTube channel. I stream Tuesdays with most of these guys, and Thursdays with Paul on the Workbench. We're winding up to the 100th Workbench live stream. It's been 3+ years now, so tune in for that. There's going to be some form of giveaway, and we're going to do something I haven't figured out exactly what. Maybe I'll pay somebody to do a montage. Who the fuck knows?
Motherfucking montage!
Yeah, well, I'm saying. So thanks you guys for tuning in to episode 3, and I'm glad to have been here, and it's been a good time. We'll see y'all next time.
There you go. Yeah, let's get this too.
I'd say give your nuts a tug, but your fucking best is doing it already. Thanks for watching episode 3 of season 2 of Critical Bills, guys. Truly appreciate all your submissions. If you guys got anything else you want to submit, please do so. I'd love to talk about it. I love all your guys' work. I really do. Even the doo-doo shit. I love doo-doo shit. I'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah,
Have a great night, everyone.
Oh shit!
Appreciate it.
I'm not trust anymore.
Wait.
I was going to use this as a chance to be like, I'm out of here, fill it. All right. Well, all jokes aside, because it's the only reason I'm on the show, guys. To liven the no, I mean, it's a pleasure having everybody. Pleasure from those in the chat that like to make fun of me. You know who you are. No. I had a blast. Thanks for having me again. I always like making time for you guys as much as I can. So it's good to hang out, shoot the shit. And yes, Miguel, I will submit Oscar. I'll do it later tonight. Yeah, I kind of almost forgot I finished that build because I'm on the next thing now. But I should remind myself about it. Yeah, I'm rambling. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. And then
Well, I already kind of gave my spiel earlier, but if you like hanging out with me, talking to me, whatever, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all at my handle below at j0tpla. Hopefully looking to do some building content soon once I get my belongings back. So I want to get back, build like these boys, get some shit done.
Hell yeah.
Get on an OMC, man.
yeah,
I know you got plenty of kids, Justin. You could do it.
Oh, I got too many kids.
It's a good way to get rid of the backlog. Just jam all your kids together into one build.
Yeah. Hot
Yo, that wouldn't be too bad, honestly, man. Yo, you can have like an alternative personality thing called Pluck.
Get a wig.
Yeah, man.
There you go. But thank you, Justin, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this.
Yeah, anytime, man, dude. I would love to come back. So please don't hesitate to hit me up, because please, it's been a blast chilling with you guys.
No problem, dude. I'm glad you had fun, and hopefully this brings you back to building real soon.
Hell yeah.
All right, so back to this lovely face. Huh?
Someone
say
hot
claw. It's hot claw. I'm back. I'm here. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for everybody who's on the show. Justin, Kyle, Brian, and Julio. Thank you guys for taking the time out and spending it with us this beautiful Saturday night, and also everybody who's watched us. I know I saw a bunch of regulars. You got Miguel, you got Ungawa, Guy Daigogi, Manny, obviously with his ball comment, Steve, and all that. We also had a bunch of new guys, Doom Boy, Zach. And Dave's World, which is a very very familiar name for sure in terms of the YouTube Gundam resin community. So thank you for joining me tonight, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's definitely been a pleasure. We will see you guys real soon for the next episode. Like I said before, this show is submission driven. So if you guys have any work in progress, and it doesn't have to be Gunpla, it doesn't have to be anything Gundam related. If you guys have
underboob, Miguel, underboob.
It can be underboob. So I am allowing underboob. However, I do have to doctor the images and censor the images to make sure that they are YouTube safe. I don't want to be taken down. I don't want to be, So just letting you guys know, just as a quick heads up, that I do have to censor things if things are a little bit too risque. Just just a quick forewarning if you guys have any of that stuff being submitted. But yeah, so I will announce the next episode real soon. Thank you again to our guest Justin j0tpla for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
We
man.
hopefully we can have you back on again real soon. And yeah, with that, guys, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your weekend, and we will see you guys later. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good time.
Good time.